This is episode 22nd of Data Science and AI Weekly. Hi everyone, my name is Manav. I'm the Chief Data Science Mentor. If you have not subscribed to our channel, just subscribe immediately. You will never miss an update when we release the next podcast. And I'm in conversation for the last 3 episodes with Deepesh Wadhwani, one of the most loved faculty. And in this episode, we are primarily going to focus on how to crack machine learning interviews and what are some of the tips that you should keep in mind when you're aiming for machine learning jobs, right? So let me start, Deepesh, this interview by welcoming you. You have been graceful enough to be here with us for the 4th episode as well.
Thank you so much. Trust me, I'm learning more than you probably are, so I'm very happy to be here.
Okay. Is there any difference between data science interviews and machine learning interviews?
Well, there is. When we talk about data science, as we know, data science can basically comprise of 2 things, the domain and machine learning algorithms. So a typical data science interview, let's say in banking, will require to answer questions like what is credit, what is a loan, what is the difference, what is a credit card, how it is done. So for a typical machine learning interview in which machine learning is primary and domain is sort of on the back burner, in those interviews more questions are on algorithms than on the domain. So this is difference number 1. Difference number 1 is in data science there is domain. In machine learning, domain is on back burner, algorithms are on the front burner. Difference number 2, in machine learning interview we are expected to know more than 1 or 2 basic algorithms. Person will probably ask about linear regression, logistic regression, at max about decision trees. When it comes to machine learning, we must know at least the decent basics of all general algorithms. So it might be classification, clustering, dimensionality reduction, can be regression, it can be even neural networks. So depends on which company we are opting for, how they work. They'll ask different questions, but they will definitely ask more than 1 algorithm.
Fantastic. Loved both of your answers. So first thing that you said is data science interviews focus more on domain, while machine learning interviews
focus more on algorithms.
And the second point that you mentioned is that data science will have 1 or 2 algorithms, the basic to the domain, and the machine learning interview will have questions ranging from a lot of algorithms. Okay. Now let me now ask you the follow-up question. Why would a company interview someone for a machine learning role when they can interview someone for a data science role? And so what are the use cases from a company's standpoint for a data scientist versus a machine learning role?
All right. So how it basically works is every company, instead of hiring 1 person to run a complete project, they usually hire a group. Somebody who is more experienced and can understand domain very well, yet know and understand all algorithms. And a few people who can process data very well. They are from computer science background. They know how a server behaves. They know a lot about how data processing and the typical CPU while processing happens. And they hire somebody who can construct algorithms most efficiently, and hence machine learning engineers or machine learning scientists. So there is always a group formation, and people usually ask me that I am more inclined towards algorithms and I don't understand the domain as much. It's okay. There is a part for you in the team. So there are always different key positions, and every position requires a different scale of one particular skill.
Fantastic. So what you are basically saying is that in a team, when we talk about data science, so in the theoretical sense, the world think that data scientist is doing everything end to end, while in reality it is not.
It is
and
not.
The pieces of a data science project are broken, and then specialists are hired. And machine learning, a person who's being interviewed for a machine learning role, he can be a machine learning scientist or engineer, is being hired to fill up that gap that possibly data scientists might not be able to fill into it.
Yes.
Right? So fantastic.
Again, either they don't fill in the gap or they don't have the bandwidth. So data scientists usually understand all algorithms. That doesn't mean they have to apply everything.
Makes sense. So now let's talk about the kind of interview preparation that you would need, or candidate needs to do for a machine learning interview, right? So what should be the strategy? What should be the approach?
Point number 1, make sure you understand all the basics. Down from how the algorithm works, what are the structures, what are the basic equations. If not, the derivations won't be asked, but equations might be. Until we write that math equation down, we'll probably not be selected for a machine learning role. Second, make sure the procedure of the machine learning project that we do. We start with data, we do some EDA, we fill in the missing values, we then scale things up or down depending on the requirement. We check for assumptions, then we apply a model, then we check for errors, then we do an iterative process of remodeling. This process should be clear because this is where we'll be judged. A data scientist understands the variable definition. A machine learning person understands which algorithm is behaving in what sense and how to minimize the error. So 2 major points. 1, make sure you know basics and equations and structures of all possible algorithms. And second, make sure you have very solid understanding of the structure of machine learning project.
Okay. Now, does this mean that since machine learning interviews tend to focus only on machine learning algorithms, does that mean that they are harder to crack because you are expected to have a certain level of depth in machine learning? And then how, as a candidate, should I choose whether I want to appear for data science roles or whether I should go for machine learning roles? So you can answer these questions one at a time. Firstly, you might want to take the first question. Is it harder to crack machine learning roles?
The short answer is no. The thing that changes between a data science interview and machine learning interview is the position itself. If you feel more suited towards interacting with business and making sure the definitions of variable are correct and making sure the business understands the algorithm well, interview for a data science role. If you are more comfortable with once the definitions are set to apply an algorithm or to make sure best possible algorithm is machine learning role. The difference here is not how hard or easy an interview is, but in the very nature of the work. So no, they are not more difficult. Machine learning and data science interviews both can be equally hard or equally easy depending on students or candidates preparation.
Okay, so now how do I as a candidate decide whether I should be preparing for data science roles or whether I should be going for machine learning interviews? Because the approach is going to be a little different. Because in data science roles, I would focus on the end-to-end data science process, but in machine learning, my approach is going to be to go deep. So I would want to prepare accordingly. So how do I as a candidate know that this is what I should do?
Correct. So a good way to judge this thing is to see one, where we already are. Are we in a very technical driven role? If yes, we probably will be more comfortable and more suited for a machine. For a machine learning role.
What exactly do you mean by technical? Do you mean Python or do you mean maths? Because some people refer technical as the maths.
Actually, a combination of both, even in programming, even in development, even in testing. If we do not have a lot of touch of business in our...
Okay, so you mean then when you don't have a lot of business touch and understanding and client interaction, stakeholder
Correct.
Management, etc.
So if we are already doing that, we probably are more suited towards machine learning role. If let's say we are bankers, we are in human resources, if we are in a business role, and then we want to move to a data science team, we probably will be better as a data scientist who will define things, who will define what a variable is, who will define what should be our objective, what should we maximize.
Right. So it's a function of business versus maybe non-business to
Correct.
that extent. So better
Correct.
as compared to let's say a machine learning engineer.
Again,
in that sense.
in similar sentence, a business person won't be able to probably run algorithms as good as somebody who's from a technical background will.
Right.
So somebody who knows, let's say, Python already and wants to be a machine learning expert, then he will understand how my CPU will process it, what will be the speed, will I be able to process it in time or not, can it be taken online or not. Most of the things today are on websites. It happens with one click. So can that one click functioning be enabled? He'll be able to understand better. And hence these two roles not just are different, every person is different and person will be suited to either the one or the second.
Right. Now let's talk about two more things and then we'll wrap up the So with this, we'll wrap up this episode. Any parting tips that you have for all the listeners of this podcast, that both from a data science and machine learning, that will make them successful in this space?
All right. So this is one of the examples which I usually give at the parting time of my lectures as well. So the last lecture which I take is neural networks and machine learning. So this is the last thing which I said. I was once leaving my wife off at a bus stand and I saw this conductor. A bus came, he started shouting Delhi, 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 and filled the bus up with people who were going to Delhi and sent the bus away. Then the next bus came and this guy again started Delhi, 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 Delhi. Again, second bus, third bus, fourth bus, he sent a lot of buses away. We should not be like that person. We'll not just go out and say data science, data science, data science and just talk about data science.
Makes
we
sense.
must practice. We should ourselves go to Delhi.
Fantastic.
So
right?
practice is the key.
This is the key, and applying that is as important as well.
Correct.
Right? Thank you very much, Deepesh. It was our pleasure hosting you for this 4 series podcast, and I hope you loved as well interviewing for this podcast.
It was lovely being here. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. This was episode 22 of Data Science and AI Weekly. I was in conversation with Deepesh Wadhwani. Deepesh is one of the most admired faculty at and I have over the last 4 episodes quizzed him on various topics related to data science and interviews in machine learning. This was episode 22nd. This was how to crack machine learning interviews, and I hope you loved this episode. If you did, leave your comment in the comment section, and if you want to watch the previous episodes of this amazing podcast series that we are doing, just go to the description and you would be able to see the playlist. This is Manav. I'm signing off. Thank you.